Yo, go get you some of that Drip Sport merch, man. You know what I'm saying? Drip Sport Empire. Malone TV News, man. We be in these streets. You dig?
Come and take a camera flash. Every game amazing, car game crazy. Gucci Mela flare, what you tell me? Say chase. When I hit the mall,
let him cook now. Let him cook. I'm not.
Everyone was comfy all day, been there. Switched to Just Hoods last month, best decision ever. My family wears them, from my niece to my uncle, total game changer. Super soft cotton poly mix means all day comfort whether lounging at home or out exploring. And the unisex fit, on point for anyone, anywhere. Snag yours now for just $50. Trust me, once you try Just Hoods, you won't go back. Grab one before they sell out. Don't miss out. Click buy now and elevate your wardrobe today.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy CM the Goat 5, man. Back with a new one, you know what I'm saying? We got to get into it, man. We got to get into it. We got a new one for y'all today. Yeah, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it, man. This Jay-Z situation. You know, y'all been seeing it on the blog, seeing it all over the news and everything. You know, it's tearing up the airways everywhere. So let's go ahead and talk about it, man. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Jay-Z, you know, been accused of back in 2000 something, I think it was around 2000, year 2000, of R Word with alongside Puffy, P. Diddy, of a 13-year-old, so to speak, allegedly. So we're gonna pretty much get into it today. So let's go. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, Malone TV News. Boy, CM the GOAT. Let's go, man. Let's see which way I want to go. What the order with that? Go back. We're gonna get there, people. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
secrets will be revealed. We know what we are potentially up against. And as is always the case in situations like this, when a celebrity is involved, people can be downright mean and nasty.
Last month, attorney Tony Busby was sued by an anonymous high-profile celebrity, accusing the attorney of extorting him. The suit was filed under the moniker John Doe. According to the court filing, Doe accused Busby and his law firm of attempting to extort exorbitant sums from him, or else the law firm was going to publicly file horrific allegations against him. The plaintiff claimed Busby threatened to unleash entirely fabricated and malicious allegations of sexual assault, including multiple instances of rape of a minor, both male and female, if he refused to comply with their demands. The suit says Busby sent John Doe multiple confidential written demands, repeating the same fabricated allegations unless plaintiff agreed to resolve the matters through mediation for money. The suit claims some of the allegations were a copy and paste of the allegations in a public complaint filed by Busby and his law firm, with the obvious implications they would amend the complaint if the plaintiff in this case refused to cooperate. It also claims Busby and his law firm used identical language to put John Doe on notice that his name would be swapped in as one of the unnamed participants if he didn't comply with Busby's demands, calling it extortion. John Doe claimed all the allegations were false, and Busby's threats would tarnish his reputation, subject him to public scorn and condemnation, and the fallout would irreparably harm his personal and professional life, destroy his career, legacy, and emotional well-being. Then Busby fired back and sued the law firm representing the once anonymous A-lister. In Busby's lawsuit against law firm Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan, the Texas attorney claimed the John Doe lawsuit was baseless and claimed Quinn Emanuel had gone too far. Busby claimed the law firm hired henchmen to fish for claims to bring against him in clear violation of Texas law, and Quinn Emanuel must be stopped. The Texas-based attorney even claimed his daughter had been contacted by people looking for controversial, salacious, or disparaging information. Busby cited one of the lawsuits against Diddy in his court filing. That lawsuit was filed by a Jane Doe who claimed in 2000, when she was just 13 years old, Sean Combs raped her with another male celebrity while another female celebrity watched. When the lawsuit was originally filed, the two unnamed celebrities were known only as Celebrity A and Celebrity B. Celebrity A being the male celebrity, Celebrity B being the female celebrity. Busby in his lawsuit against Quinn Emanuel alleged agents presumably working on behalf of Celebrity A crossed the line from bullying behavior to tortious conduct. Busby alleged investigators hired by Quinn Emanuel contacted former employees, family members, current clients, former clients, witnesses, and co-counsel alleging harassment.
There's still so much to unpack with both of these lawsuits, but I want to quickly thank our amazing sponsors who help us continue to bring you these stories, like Upside. You might be asking yourself, what's Upside? Well, it's a free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, and restaurants. Sometimes I only have time for a quick lunch break, but then there are times I can have a nice sit down at a restaurant, and guess what? I can use Upside for both. Plus, I can use Upside to get
neither honor nor dignity. The statement went on to say, "My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking all celebrities are the same. I am not from your world. I am a young man who made it out of the project of We don't have games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me, that if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am." But Tony Busby also responded with his own fiery post, writing, quote, "Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. He filed his frivolous case under a pseudonym. What he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of an alleged victim, and that victim never demanded a penny from him. Instead, she only sought a confidential mediation. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. His conduct has had the opposite impact. She is emboldened. I am very proud of her resolve. As far as the allegations in the complaint filed, we will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the fact in court, not in the media."
Here's how the average man's life would change if he never saw an ad again. Day 1, he would install Pi on his computer.
Well, a crazy turn of events since Busby was sued last month. Let's break this down with attorney and litigator Rich Schoenstein. Rich, it's always so great to see you. It really was a crazy turn of events. What do you make
of the most recent turn of events, I should say, where, first we have Tony Busby, who was sued for extortion. Then we have Busby suing back, also claiming harassment. And then we figure out that Jay-Z is somehow involved in all of this in a way, allegedly. What do you make of that?
Well, this is really taking quite a turn. So what you have here now are 3 additional parties in what was really a prosecution of Sean Combs and a bunch of civil cases against Sean Combs. So now you add to that Tony Busby, who's a very prominent lawyer. He's been down this road before. He was down this road with Deshaun Watson, so he's used to this kind of case, and by all appearances, he's good at it. Then you have Jay-Z, who now has been unmasked as one of the mysterious people allegedly involved. And then on top of that, you have Jay-Z's attorneys, Quinn Emanuel, which is one of the greatest trial law firms in the country. I mean, they're a national firm. They're superb. His main lawyer is Alex Spiro. That's the guy who got Alec Baldwin off. So, those are big fish when you talk about those kind of players.
And going into Tony Busby's lawsuit against Quinn Emanuel, there were a lot of allegations in there, mainly about harassment. Now, Busby claims that his co-counsel was harassed, his former clients, his current clients, even alleged his daughter has been harassed too for just whatever salacious allegations that they can come find. What do you make of those allegations that Busby is alleging in his lawsuit?
Yeah, well, it's getting very personal. I have no idea of knowing what's true and what's not true. Obviously, Quinn Emanuel, on behalf of Jay-Z, decided to be aggressive. Because what I gather happened is that Busby said to Jay-Z's camp, let's have a private mediation, which means in code, pay us a boatload of money and we'll be quiet. And then Jay-Z's camp, led by Quinn Emanuel, is saying, no, we're not doing that. We're not afraid of this issue. We're not afraid to litigate. And they went as far as to sue Busby, claiming that his tactics are improper. And obviously, if they were going to take that position, they had to do some investigation. Now, Busby says that investigation has crossed the line, that Quinn Emanuel's investigators are doing things they shouldn't do. They're going after clients. They're going after family members. So it's gotten awful personal and awful chippy real quick.
Do you think that they could just argue, they being Quinn Emanuel, that they were just doing their due diligence?
I think that's exactly what they will argue. They will argue, first of all, they're arguing that Busby is a bad guy. They're arguing basically that Busby is a very fancy ambulance chaser. And he is out trying to generate clients, and that in this case, client means person who would like to get a check from Sean Combs or Jay-Z, who may or may not have been the victim of any actual misconduct. And it's the same kind of thing we saw in the Watson case, where the allegation is that he's being too aggressive in soliciting and generating claims, and that the driving motive is not making things right for the victim as much as generating large settlements and large collections for his law firm.
And are you surprised it got to this point where we're actually getting a name to this amended complaint, that being Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z? Are you surprised that his name actually came out in that lawsuit?
Well, so given what I've seen of these allegations so far in the criminal case and in the civil case, you're going to have to do a lot to surprise me. I've already seen some stuff that I find surprising. So we knew that there are other people allegedly involved in these freak-offs.
Yes.
We knew that there were other people involved. We surmised that there were going to be some high-profile names involved. And, I've seen rampant speculation about Jay-Z and about other people. I don't know if any of it's true. Nobody knows if any of it's true. So I'm not too surprised to see his name pulled into this.
Yeah, and I remember when Tony Busby had first came out kind of swinging, when he had first said that he was going to bring about over 100 lawsuits with his 100 different clients against Combs, aka, and then he did say going to be dropping names. Why do you think it took to this point, and why do you think Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z's name, has been the only one that has come out so far?
So we have to speculate for most of this. So the reason Tony Busby went public and said, I have 100 clients, I'm bringing lawsuits, was twofold. One, to generate clients. That is solicitation of clients. I know he's going to grouse about me saying that, but that's what it is. When you go on TV and say, I have 100 clients suing Sean Combs, here is my phone number, you know what you're doing. That's one purpose. The other purpose is to scare the defendants, is to let the defendants know that he's in it, he's got all these people lined up, he's coming to get them. So when they get his letter, they go, I don't want to deal with this Busby guy. I want out. I got to write a check. And what we don't know, Elizabeth, is how many of those letters has he sent to other people? Have any of them been successful? He may have already settled with some people. We have no way of knowing, right? Because a lot of people want to settle to name out of the papers and out of the courts.
Yeah, and I think seeing Sean Carter's response to everything was pretty fiery. He made a fiery statement to his Rock Nation social media platform, and he called Tony Busby deplorable, kind of really went after him with a lot of personal attacks while also denying all the claims that have been made against him. What do you make of his response, him being Jay-Z's response to being named in this lawsuit, but also just, the fiery allegations he even made in that statement?
Yeah, well, that statement is really an offshoot of the litigation. So they sued Busby in California. I love the forum shopping part of this. They sued Busby in California. Then Busby sued Quinn Emanuel in Texas, which is his home state. And of course, most of these lawsuits are pending in New York, I guess some in California, involving Diddy. So we're all over the place. But Jay-Z has chosen a very aggressive tact here. He's retained a very aggressive lawyer and law firm, and he is saying, I didn't do any of this. This is a shakedown. This is extortion. I'm not going to stand for it. This guy is bad, meaning the lawyer. He's not attacking any victims. That's very smart. Attack the lawyer, don't attack the victims. And that's the way he's going to defend the case. Time will tell if it's successful.
And do you think because he had chosen not to settle out of court, that kind of speaks to a little more validity of him denying these allegations? Do you think that helps in his case? Because obviously when we see these types of lawsuits, we're going to get a lot of public perception about what had happened. But do you think because he's attacking Tony Busby in such a way, he's kind of helping protect his reputation in a way, or do you?
Oh, well, it's entirely a reputation protection matter. I mean, the mission here for anybody who gets tied up in this is, number one, stay out of jail. Number two, protect your reputation. And number three, try not to pay out a lot of civil settlements. Now, some people will pay civil settlements because it works to protect their reputation, even if they don't really think they did anything wrong. They might think settling is a cleaner, cheaper, faster path to peace than litigating is, and sometimes that's right. I never read into a settlement. I never read a settlement as an admission of liability. I understand why some people do.
Do you think Tony Busby was over ambitious in bringing the amount of lawsuits against Sean Combs, maybe not realizing how much of an entity he was and how, he's in his trail could bring down a lot of establishments in a way?
Well, it's a really good question. So I'm going to give you some considerations because I've thought about this issue. One thing that worries me about it is there's sort of an inherent conflict of interest in representing that many people. What if some of the people he represented turn out to have been willing participants in these freak-offs? And so now he's representing willing and unwilling participants, or people at different levels of culpability. That could present some real conflict of interest. What if one of his clients saw another one of his clients do something wrong? That can present a real conflict of interest problem for him. So put that aside. On the other hand, handling these matters en masse getting all of these plaintiffs together makes it much more efficient and affordable for the litigants, because they're going to share, or probably he's doing these mostly on a contingency basis. He's going to get allowed a lot of bang for the buck on his efforts by having so many plaintiffs. He's going to have so much access to so much information by having so many of them. There are advantages to his investigation and presentation, but there is that conflict issue, and to your point, he has made himself a pretty big target.
Do you see a point where Sean Carter and Tony Busby ever litigate their lawsuits against one another?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance we're going to see these lawsuits go forward. So lawsuits only end, they can be dropped voluntarily, don't see that happening. They can be settled, don't see that happening. They can be thrown out by a judge. I don't think so. Not from what I've seen of these. Some of the allegations could be thrown out, some of the claims, but I think there are viable claims here against each other, or they can be resolved on the merits by a judge or a jury. I mean, those are the ways to get rid of the litigation. So a lot of things could happen. I mean, if there were criminal proceedings against Jay-Z, and I've heard nothing to suggest that there would be, but that obviously would muck up all of the litigation. The way that the Diddy litigation pans out, what happens with that is going to affect the Jay-Z litigation. But I think all this litigation is going to go on for a long time.
And I remember even, and this is unrelated, when the Cassie lawsuit had come out last year, that kind of really opened the floodgates against Sean Combs. Do you see the same kind of happening in a way possibly for Sean Carter?
Yeah, so I've bragged about this. If you go back to the videotape, when that Cassie litigation was resolved, what I said at the time was, how on earth did Sean Combs let this litigation get filed if he was just going to settle it the next day? I understand if he was going to defend it, then it was going to be filed. But if his plan was to settle, you settle those lawsuits before they're filed. This is exactly why, so that the federal government doesn't look at the lawsuit and say, oh, we should look into that, so that other plaintiffs don't start coming out of the woodwork. Having that Cassie litigation filed, which I'm led to believe he had an opportunity to settle pre-filing, open the floodgates to all of this. I think now that Jay-Z is officially named as a party, that could have the same effect, although I sort of think the door was already open for that.
And why do you think Sean Carter didn't sue Busby for defamation as opposed to just extortion?
Because if you sue somebody for defamation, as part of your case, you have to affirmatively prove the allegations are untrue. Now, it's one thing to be accused of drugging and raping people and to be able to defend yourself so that a jury in a criminal or a civil case isn't satisfied that the proof is there. But in a defamation suit, the burden of proof is reversed, and you have to prove that you didn't do it. And I've had a lot of conversations over the years that came down to, you don't want to take on that burden in a defamation case. You don't want to have to prove it. You don't want the expense of proving it. You don't want to have to go in front of a jury with it. So that is a strategic move to leave that cause of action out.
Wow, there's a lot at play here, Rick.
All right, we're going to leave that right there, man. There you have it, man. You know what I'm saying? And Jay-Z, proving he innocent to proving guilty in the court of law, but this is like a civil suit, so it's not even a criminal lawsuit. So we'll see what happens and see how it plays out, and keep you guys updated on what's going on. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. It's your boy CM the GOAT 5, man. Malone TV News, man. You're out.